Okay, good morning, everyone. I think we can go ahead and start. We have enough people joining. I mean, we was recording, so others can be later. Okay, so basically, we're going to talk about our um, new features that we're releasing with 6.2.5 this week. So the few main things are, first of all, we're finally added AI Assist. We've been working with a beta version of it for a while, and thank you for everybody who gave us the feedback for it. I think we're in a decent place where so I'm excited to show that to you guys how it's going to look like inside the program. We've also changed our chart library from Google Charts to Echarts. It's more visually appealing, and I mean, there's really no change on how everything works. It also gives us more options. Subreports is another part we've made some changes. Custom joins, visual UI tips. Also, you'll see it's a lot better where you can um, we have a lot more instructions on how people can build reports. Custom joins is also something, an advanced feature that a lot of users will find useful, something that has been in the works for a while too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I think we're 5 minutes in, so that's great. Let's see. So first thing is we're going to review the AI assistant paired with live preview. Okay, so I'll switch over to .NET Report. Okay, so now we have, we've always had the standard designer. It's exactly the same as before too, where you choose your data, choose your visualization, and then, save and run the report. But in the previous version, we also added live preview, where as you select data, it would give you a preview of .NET Report within the tab. So it's a lot easier to design. Now we also have this AI Assist. When you toggle this, it basically opens up a chat box here where users can, you can give it tips. It gives you some options that you can try on your own, or you can just type what you like. So I can start by choosing something like sales summary, and it says build me a sales summary report. And okay, okay, so it created a sales summary report with a bar chart. As you can see, that looks pretty cool. Okay, so what you can do is actually what it does is that it basically selects data for you. So as you go in and you select data, in .NET Report, what this AI assist does is basically select things for you. So see, it selected a bar chart because that's kind of what I asked it for. Then in the selected data, it selected, I guess, it found ship date and subtotal of summary, and it grouped it by year and did a sum of subtotal, right? It doesn't have any filters, but I can also type in and say, okay, add filter for this year, or I can just say, can you filter for this year? So you can see that it went ahead and added the filter for this year and range this year. So essentially, it's still building our reports exactly the way you would, but it makes it a lot faster and simpler where you can do these things, by typing in. So I mean, it's obviously, I think if somebody who knows how to select data and add filters, it might be easier for them to um, select it directly here. But with this, for people who are not as tech savvy or don't know how to select fields and filters and things like that, typing it up here would be easy for them. Okay, so that's, and it also gives the report a nice name, sales summary report. It also gives it a description. Okay, so that's one example. We can also start over. One thing where it's really good at is that you can actually do custom reports with it too. So it can build the HTML for you. So obviously .NET Report, and once I hit start over, everything is back to where it was. There is nothing selected. Basically, we restarted. Okay. So we've always had custom report where you can go in and write your own HTML. So we can do something like, can you build an over detailed report for can say a custom HTML. So you can type in things like that where you can tell it, which tables to use. Another thing is you can always select tables also or data, and then, you can ask it to build using your selected fields so it can make things better. Okay, so let's see. So see, it selected a custom report. Okay, looks pretty good, right? So it gave me an order detail report, order number 1, it selected order date and stuff like that. And if you look at your custom design, so this is basically what it selected for me. So some of the fields, I think it didn't pick it correctly, but overall you get the idea, right? Another thing is that I think it needs to be a list instead of summary. So you can change that, and now you're getting your actual order ID stuff. So that's basically the main enhancement with live preview and AI assist. And again, you can continue the conversation in this chart, and it would do that for you. You can build pretty much, if you edit a report also, it would also give you the option to do that. So you can always save and run and continue if you need to, or you can just stop it. Okay. So let me go back to see if anybody has any questions. No? Okay, great. Okay, let's go back to so yeah, so basically we kind of quickly covered natural language support. You can type in things on existing reports or new reports. Gives you quick actions, live preview updates and you can, it also gives you suggestions like you saw that, you can click on buttons to, so you can build reports faster. So hopefully this AI assistant would be a feature that would help you and your end users create reports even faster and get things done, in a timely manner. Okay. So the next thing is Echarts. So you might have noticed, like, the visuals are a little different, right? Where if I go in and let me actually go, for example, to the dashboard. So we can see different type of charts that we already have. Okay, so you can see that the charts are a little bit crispier than our previous versions. I guess it would be for people who've seen .NET Report or used it for a long time, but it's essentially more or less the same, but it's the edges are a little bit better, the colors are different. So, and you still have the same options where, for example, if I arrange and then change the layout and stuff, so I can change it to a pie chart or I can change it to a line chart. So these features were already there from before, but you can change the series color. All of that stuff is still available. It works exactly the same way. You can choose to show grid lines or hide grid lines, or can remove labels. So those options are still, they all work exactly the same way, but the chart is a little bit different. Another thing that it does is that it actually gives us options to add more visualizations. So I'll continue that with the, it's also a faster chart library. It renders a little bit faster than Google Charts, and it just works exactly the same way. So it's built in, but it also gives us new chart options. Like, so for example, we've added this radar chart. I'll show that to you. So if I go ahead and actually, I can edit. This one's a decent one to look at. Change. Okay, so this is a regular bar chart, but in visualization, if I go to selected data, so we've already had the option where you can stack and things like that. But if I go to more visualization, now we have this feature where it kind of gives you, as you select things, it gives you a little bit more detail. This is actually covered in the next topic as well. I'll talk a little bit more over there about it, but it gives you hints on how, the chart would be used. So it's better UI for users. But the two new ones that we have is radar and polar stacked bar chart. And then, we'll also be adding scatter plot, gauge, and funnel and other stuff later on. So it's disabled right now, but it's coming soon. But for example, if I change this to a polar stacked bar chart, I can click use this visualization. So this is a new visualization that we're able to use. It's similar to a bar stack chart, but it just gives you data in a different way. It goes in. Another visualization I can use on this chart is the radar or spider. So what this does is it basically it's another advanced chart type where which is one of the visualizations that we did not have before. How it gives the user a little bit of an idea of what it's used for. So where you can do things for feature comparison or things like that, like it can have employee skills or something on the outside, and then it gives you number of fields on the inside, but it gives you a little bit of hint on how to select it. That's basically the discussion on new chart types and the new chart library. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so yeah, visual tips. Kind of talked a little bit about it already. It showed you how it looks like, but it's actually here on hover as well, where as you're selecting visualization, it gives you more options, and then the more button gives you more detail. So kind of is a little bit of an enhancement for end users, because our focus is always on what's best for your end users, because they end up using .NET Report in the end. So we tried to add some more things for end users to make it helpful. Another thing is that it gives you tips like this, where this can be turned off in the settings also, but it at least gives you some options where .NET Report, when it detects that what you can use, what visualization you should be using for this, it gives you a little bit of a hint, and you can apply it, and it changes that for you. So you will see these kind of tips in the application as well. So basically, right, so the main advantage for this one is that it's for summaries. It explains things a little bit better. Right before, we obviously had the visualization option, but there was no detailed preview or hints on what it's for. But now it gives you a preview as well as some detailed description on what it's useful for. And then when you click on the more option, it gives you a little bit of more text, and users who are not who are kind of like thinking of what to do, they can use that. And this, coupled with the AI assistant, is going to be great for end users to use the application. Okay. Next thing we want to cover is subreports. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, great. So the subreport, basically, we've done some enhancement here where, let me go ahead and create a new report. Okay, so if I choose okay, so let me just choose my orders table quickly to build a quick report where, for example, if I have order date, or ID, customer, let's say ship country. Okay, so this is a basic standard list report, right? Let's say I wanted to link it to an order detail, right? So we've always had the option where you can link to another report. So if I create a link, you can always link it. You've always had the option to link to an existing report or a new report. For example, like, we can have the order details linked. Okay. But now what .NET Report does is that when you select the subreport, I mean, we had this feature also where you can include it inside the same report as you linked it as a subreport. Let me change this visualization to custom, because I think that's useful. So let me insert the main table as the main list of order as the regular table. Okay. Okay, great. So the main feature here is this new option that says you can insert subreport directly into a custom report. Okay. So before, it would, like, you see that when you include something as a subreport, it automatically brings it as a detail up here. But you now have the option to insert it anywhere in a custom report. Okay, so yeah, what it's supposed to do is when you edit a sub report within a main parent report, it gives you shows you a blue information link here where it says that you're editing a sub report from a parent report. You can save changes and then you can go back to the parent report if you need to. Let me actually, um, maybe I think there is a filter here. Okay, so this is the reason why it wasn't showing because we have a filter here. So I can actually remove it and save the report. And now if I go back to the parent report, I think it will. Yeah, because our order was like all the way from back in 2017 and the sub report did not have that. Okay, so now it's showing it. Great. That makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, so that's basically one of the main new features here where you are able to edit the sub report directly rather than having to go before you used to have to go and find the report, edit it, save and run it. So you were always editing two separate reports, but now sub reports are kind of part of the main report where you can go in and you know make changes directly. And if you go back to parent report, it will take you back to where you were. I think I got the idea across where you can insert sub-reports inline. That was not there before. And then the drill through options are better where you can, go and edit directly with the edit button. Okay. The next thing is our relationships enhancement. Okay, so this is something that's going to be available in admin mode only. So as you know, if you go into setup, .NET Report has at the back end, the way it works is that you define your tables and joins directly in .NET Report. Now we've done a couple of enhancements here. One of the things that a lot of users had to do before, and it kind of worked, but you had to always add additional joins, but sometimes it wouldn't pick the joins in the right order that you would like. So now .NET Report has this feature where you can actually sort and give a priority to the join that should come first. So a lot of times you had like an employee and order table and things like that, and you wanted to set a precedence that if those two tables are selected, the first one should always be table A versus table B. So now we have this feature in .NET Report where you can actually sort and save the priority the table should be selected in. Otherwise, before what .NET Report would do is that it would just simply select it with the order of the fields that were selected in. Let me go ahead and turn on admin mode and give you a preview of how these joins would work. So for example, if I select something from, let's say, orders table, okay, and then just select a couple of fields. And then let me go to the employee table and select a couple of other fields, like let's say first and last name. Okay. Now, if I preview this report code, so .NET Report has selected orders and employees in the join that it's using is order to employee, okay, which is it basically follows the pattern that you selected in the setup. But now what we have is this: if you have admin mode turned on, in options, you actually have this configure join button that will show, okay, and this is a pretty powerful feature where it lets you choose how you want the order of the join to happen. So for example, if you wanted to move with inner join, it doesn't matter, but if you, for example, had a left join or a right join, then you can change the join type right here, and then you can also flip which field comes first. Okay, so in the original join, let me go ahead and apply to report and preview code again. So this was the original one. Let me go ahead and it seems like it's requiring me to run it for some reason. Sure, shouldn't be the case, but let's see. Okay, so see now it's join, it's changed the join to right as I had wanted, as I moved it around where, it's starting from the order still, but the join has changed from inner join to right join. Okay, so, and same thing, I can actually do it. I can even, if you have more than one joins or more than one tables that is joining on, it's a pretty useful feature where you can flip things around. You can also choose which table to start from. So instead of starting from the orders, you can actually go from a different table and then join from orders. So if I do that, let's see if it will work. So see, basically change my join to start from employees instead of order. Okay. And then it right joins on order based on the field I have. So this is an advanced option for really for admin users. That's why it runs only in admin mode, where, if you're setting up a report where you need to configure joins in a certain way, you need to overwrite the default joins, you can do that through this. So hopefully this would be another useful enhancement. So let's just quickly go over it. So yeah, so like I showed you that you can choose either right or left join. And then it also allows you to reorder join operation. If you have more than one tables, you can actually drag and drop and move things around. And it's really great for edge cases where the default join isn't right? Especially in case of when you need to define right or left join. Okay, cool. So I think it's right on time. That is great. Emma has a question: is column field level security available for fine? Yeah, column field security level is definitely available. When you go to setup, you can. So there are different ways you can set up access on a report, but if you actually have the option to go in and choose which tables would be visible by role. So if you have, right now I haven't set up roles, so it's not giving me a drop-down list, but you would see your user roles here and you can say, okay, show this table only to specific roles. And you can do that to column level also. You can manage it by role and it would give you the list of roles here where you can say, okay, only select specific roles that will see this. Is report sharing available via email? Yes, so you can basically, when we schedule a report, it has the option to send it as a link. If you turn on admin mode, when you go in, it builds a direct link as a URL to the report. So it's a direct link to run the report, and it would take you to your application. If you have, obviously, in enterprise application, almost in all cases, you have is behind a login user, so it would ask you to log in first. That's still gonna work, but you also, when you're scheduling a report, you can set by email. That's another way you can email something to the user. But if you want to share a link to the report, you just simply copy this link and then you can email it to anybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And if you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to me directly or send a message to our website. And I hope you guys would update and found these updates and enhancements useful. Thank you.